What's up, everyone? Happy Monday.
What's up, guys? Happy to be here.
Joseph in the house.
Love it. Love it.
Bro, today is Q&A. Q&A Mondays.
I'm stoked. Oh, I see we got Joel and Darth Jader and Max. Love it. Love it. Good to see you guys. Good to see y'all. Joel's really pushing for that Jimenez baby over here.
And no pressure at all, right?
Yeah, no pressure, bro. No pressure. Awesome. Well, guys, I'm super excited to be here. I hope you guys are. Y'all know what today is. It's Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
Hit us with whatever you got. This is your time to ask whatever questions you'd like to know. We've got people filling in, so go ahead and jump to the front of the line while you can. Otherwise, you're just going to sit here while we're talking.
Hit us with your best shot, guys.
I know. I want y'all to make us stumble. That's how we get better. Oh, there we go. Darth Jader. Yeah, I got you. Oh, question. Does agency debt not allow sellers to be in second position? Beautiful question. Oscar, that's what you were just talking about in our meeting earlier.
Where were you, Jada? We missed you in that meeting, by the way. I specifically went over that question during the meeting, and it really depends on the lender, but typically they don't. Typically, they will not let you do a second position lien on the loan. So there's a few ways you can get around it. One, if you're going to do a seller finance component and a seller finance component on the deal, and you want to know how to structure it, one, you can bring on that specific seller as an LP and structure it that way, where they get paid out whatever terms you guys agree on. Or another creative way is you can structure the deal where you create an entity and you make them a partner in that entity and structure out the creative the terms depending on how you structure your entity and the operating agreement. So those are two ways you can get around it, around the second position lien on agency debt. Those are two nuggets, guys, that I had to, all of us here in this team had to spend money to find those strategies out. And I mean like lots of money.
Yeah, those were not cheap to learn.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Also Darth Jader. So that the same as non-assignable loans. So yeah, I think it's just an add-on to your same thing. Yeah, this would go for in any type of situation, right? Instead of changing the loan or getting a new debt or assuming the debt, you're just keeping that debt in place. And another way to think of it is the seller is just adding partners to the deal on the seller side. So the owner is staying the same. You're just adding us or whoever the buyer is as partners to the deal. So it's not actually being sold.
Yep. I want to highlight Ryan real quick. I just got off talking with Ryan. Ryan's got some good stuff going on in his pipeline and his team and everything he's working on. This guy is committed to getting a deal done. He does not sleep. He does not, fool around. He's taking action every single day, bringing us problems that he's getting into doing deals, just taking action. I want to recognize Ryan for doing such a good job, always following up, always here, always showing up, and just going in the right direction. Ryan, you. Thank you, brother.
Yeah. And for the record, Ryan, I was there. I heard the whole meeting. I just was a little predisposed at the moment. I was doing some household chores, but I heard the whole thing.
So he was listening after all.
I was listening. Yeah. I did not have hands to unmute.
All right. What's the next one? Is it Joel?
I think so. Where'd it go? I lost my place. Yes. This is what I got. How does a fund of funds work? Why will a middleman be there when raising capital? Where is the guy bringing funds go to? I'm not entirely sure of the question, but the way a fund of funds works is, and I don't have full understanding, so this is a very broad overview of what it is. But a fund of funds is you go and you set it up, and it's specifically you're putting money together to go and find a property that you don't have the property yet, but you're putting together the group of the funds so that way you can go and tackle criteria that a property fits. Like whatever criteria it is that you're looking for, you set it up. Hey, we're looking to raise funds for these type of assets with these types of returns, blah, 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 right? And you're putting the funds together before you actually have the property. When a normal syndication is you put all the funds together during the due diligence and closing process. That's when you're typically doing it. So fund of funds is you're just preparing before, you're getting the money before you have the property in mind or selected. I think that answers the question. And where does the guy bringing the funds go to? Well, the funds always go to the bank account that's set up during the process. They always set up a bank account for all the funds to go to, and that's where they'll stay. I don't know if you want to go further into that, Oscar.
Nope, that's pretty much it.
Okay, yeah. It was very high level. She says she makes her time zones up. Joelle, have you guys thought about a Morbian method similar to Zach Pate did? Yeah, we would definitely be down. The specific deal just hasn't come up yet, right? The opportunity for us to do it just hasn't been there yet. And the ones that they were there, the seller wasn't interested. So, but yeah, we're not opposed to doing it. Whatever fits the situation the best is what we'll go with.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we clicked at the same time. There you go. Keyshawn, how can I improve multifamily deal flow? You want to touch on that one?
Yeah. I guess there's different types of methods that you can do lead sourcing or deal flow. One can be you doing the deal flow yourself or deal sourcing yourself. So like broker outreach, or if you're direct to seller, or if you're looking from this one, I would tread lightly. But if you're looking from wholesalers, um, and then also other people who are doing deals can bring you their deals as well, so you can help them out. So those are a few ways you can increase your deal flow, and also maybe have someone um, in a different market than you are, and kind of both start looking for deals in both markets. So if you're like say in Texas, I'm looking in Texas. You have someone else who might be in Florida, then they're looking deals in Florida, and you guys just kind of bring what you got to the table. So that can be another way, is partner up with someone that's bringing deals in another market that you guys can leverage each other from as well.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what I would have gone with too. Another thing you can do, not only partner up with people that you guys are doing the same job, but partner up, even if you're in the same market, partner up with someone that's doing opposite of you. Like if you like calling the brokers, partner up with someone that's more of an integrator and doing the underwriting. So you guys can split attention, and then you can focus only on bringing in leads, and you don't have to focus on actually underwriting them. That would free up a lot of your time too. Here's one more. Okay, Jay's in the house.
Hey, KJ.
Max supporting. Here's one from Ryan. Have you guys started submitting offers on deals that won't work with bank debt as a sub to keeping the ownership group in on the deal? I wouldn't say that we've submitted like an LOI on that. That one's more of like it's a conversation rather than just sending it on a sheet. Because think about it, it's not a very common thing, right? It may be a little bit more common than you would think, but it's not a regular occurrence. So it's something that you definitely want to have the conversation so you can convey it clearly what you're trying to do. Because there's too many opportunities for misinterpretation when you just send it on LOI and just kind of hope for the best. I would send in your offer, like a cash offer, and then hop on the phone with them as well, or send them an email, trying to set up a call so that you can go over that offer as well as the sub two or other potential offers that you have. That's what I would do.
Agreed. Nothing beats having just a conversation with them.
Definitely.
That's the best way.
Yeah, Oscar loves it. He's always down to just hop on and grill a broker or get to the bottom of this situation. I love it. What's up, guys? That's a name I haven't seen in a while.
Thomas.
Man, you guys don't have any more questions? We're out of questions already. This is the first time.
I know. Typically, we've got a full room with the chat that we can barely keep up with
I
questions.
know. Usually, it's questions all the way till 9:00.
Yep.
And I guess you're just gonna sit here and watch us and watch me feed a baby. Well, I guess I'm not feeding her. I'm just playing with her. Here you go. We'll get the star of the show right there.
Hey,
She's wide awake right now.
look at this guy being super dad right now.
Yeah, that's what I got stuck doing. Because I was doing one thing. I was trying to set up, since we're just here chilling, right? Since we're just here, our house is super dark during the day. Like we don't get very good sunlight. So we were going to buy a brand new back door, even though this is a rental, and we were just going to say, screw it, put it in the garage. But instead, we got a storm door, and we'll just leave the back door open with the storm door. So it's a big window, so it should just let in lots of light. So that's what I was setting up, and I didn't quite finish. And then I had to change a dirty diaper, and now I'm here.
Love the story, bro.
Oh, I got plenty of them, man. I got plenty of them. I could just keep going.
We got a question from Ryan.
Let's go. Oh, there, I'll put it up. There you go.
Ryan, what are you guys most excited about in your business right now? Ooh.
Good question.
Dang. I've got Joseph and I have 2 projects right now that we're working on, and it's all about the back end on this one. Much needed back end stuff that needed to be done. Honestly, when we first started,
Yeah,
but now we're fully automating a bunch of stuff. So, actually, after this call, we're going to be working on some of that stuff. So, it's a lot of things that we're working on behind the scenes, Ryan, that we're super excited, and it's all going to be to serve you guys, this community. So it's going to be for you guys. So we're super excited to be working on this, and hopefully we'll have something for you guys in the next, I want to say in the next week or two, you'll start seeing some things that we're implementing for the $1 Million Upside community. So with that, real quick, if you guys are not following our YouTube channel, please subscribe, like, comment. Of course, all the action's happening in YouTube. So if you're watching from Facebook, cool, but you're going to be seeing a lot of the action happen on YouTube, so you can see the comments there. And if you're not part of our Facebook group, you should be part of that Facebook group too. Make sure you join that Facebook group, because that's where we give everyone like everything that we're doing. All of our resources are there, and you can connect and network with others who are doing and getting started in multifamily. So you guys can find a bunch of great stuff there and interact with each other. So those are 2 things. And you want to be plugged into those because that's kind of what we're working on right now. So you'll start to see a bunch of the new stuff that we'll be implementing if you're part of those groups. So check us out.
Yeah.
Anything you wanted to add on that?
No, I mean, I was just gonna add that we're we're getting past that first 10% of our goal, right? And we always knew that that first 10% was going to be the hardest to get. And once this deal finally closes, we'll be over the 10% mark. And I just feel like the floodgates are going to open up. Like we're looking at multiple portfolios, I should say, that are over 200 each, easy, multiple that are over 200, not including all the deals that we're looking at that are 100 units plus, right? So I I'm just excited. I think sooner rather than later, the sellers that have been fighting the fact that the interest rates are killing their pricing now is going to pay dividends for us once they're like to the point where they need to sell. They don't have a choice anymore. It's either they sell or they just lose money for the next few years, right? So I'm excited for that. I know it sounds awful to benefit off of someone's downturn, but I'm not opposed. I'm just excited for all these deals coming through. Definitely, I think it'll be really cool. Hang on, I got a fussy baby. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, go
pass
ahead.
her off.
Everyone's rooting for you, bro. Joel, for deals under 50 units, I assume, what are some structures besides syndication focused more on cash flow? With a group, we can do like creative cash, but same time pay off property management. Um, so you can definitely structure like a deal that's under 50 as a JV, and depending on the way you structure it, right? I'm here. Let me put this real quick. Where's Joseph when I need him? Disclaimer: we're not CPAs or attorneys, but I would definitely consult an attorney if you're getting into the weeds of raising capital for any particular deal. But you can definitely structure it other ways than just a syndication. You could do some sort of partnership or JV, kind of to get more focused on that cash flow with a smaller group. And you can do creative for sure. I mean, there's always a way to do something creative that's under 50, especially that's under 50 units. I think the opportunity is there more. At the same time, pay off property management. That just depends on the underwriting. If there's enough cash flow for you to be able to pay off that property management, or maybe bring in someone who is a partner and does property management already, and maybe you can work something out there to cut on cost for the property management itself. There's different things that you can do, Joel, but I think if you have the opportunity to do a JV and you do it correctly, then that would be the way to go because it's less people involved and more of the returns can go to you. It just has to make sense on the underwriting. What's next?
We got this one.
Andrea, is debt stack the same as debt structure, just different terms?
I would say yeah.
It's kind of like
I would say yes and no, depending on who you're talking to, right? Because sometimes people could say debt stack, but they're referring to equity stack, which is how you're going to raise the money or what money you need to raise, things like that.
or like
But
the capital stack, right?
yeah, there you go. Yeah, so there's a bunch of different interchangeable words you could use for that. But debt
When I
structure,
hear when I hear debt stack, I think of like I'm not sure that I've heard that term so much, but I think of like how the current debt is structured. So like if there's like a senior loan, maybe a supplemental loan on top of that, or and then a seller finance component, then that's what I think of when someone says debt stack. But when they said debt structure, very similar as well. Like what's the structure look like? Right? It's I think it's kind of the same. But it's also maybe, there is another term called capital stack, and that's a little different. So yeah.
is this a question? I don't think that's a question. Okay, it is a question. So it says property was previously a 10-unit condo property that was changed to an apartment property. Rental rates for new leases are being done at 525 bedroom per month, leased by the unit, not by the bedroom. Saw this on a listing. Can you explain, please? Let's go back. Previously listed at 10. I guess I don't know exactly what part you'd want explanation on. Let me see. Look through this.
So
No,
it says leased by the unit and not by the bedroom. So it looks like it'd just be
like a regular unit,
yeah, like
right?
a regular one because it's kind of confusing. That says at 525 slash bedroom slash month, but
Yeah.
then it says leased by a unit, not by bedroom. So it's kind of one of those things where I would call whoever that listing broker or whoever it is
Ask
and
'em.
just get clarification on what exactly it is that they're saying here, because that's kind of two things right there that are conflicting.
Yeah. Whenever I see it's by the bedroom, usually I would think like student housing or you
Yeah,
got housing assistance where they have multiple families living in one unit or whatever it is, right?
yeah, same here.
I would just call them, get clarification because it could just be human error. You know what I mean? It could just be simple human error on the listing. Have you guys implemented AI, Chat GPT, etc., in your business and outreach? How are you guys with your systems?
Oh my gosh, what a good question, Joel. Man, I never thought I'd be so happy to talk about like automation and AI and all this other stuff. But most recently, I've been learning a lot about marketing, Joel, and AI is part of it. And it's so scary because AI is so smart now. It's gotten to the point where I'm like, Ioni did something, I think 2 days ago, generated something from an AI, like I don't remember what it was, but it was like a kind of like a story. And she presented it to me, and I was like, wow, this is good. And she was like, yeah, this is done by an AI. And I was like, how long did it take you to do this? She was like, less than 5 minutes. I was like, oh my gosh, like, wow, this is amazing. So yeah, we've definitely looked into AIs and chats and stuff like that. And do we want to implement in our business? Heck yeah, man. I would love to implement something like that in the business. 100%. So it's definitely something that we're considering, Joel. It's such a freaking amazing tool that I never thought I would say, let me look into some AI even more, until I started messing around with it recently. And I'm like, wow, this is advanced, way advanced. My thoughts of AI was like Alexa, right? I was like, okay, yeah, I have AI, I can talk to Alexa. But then when I started seeing all this stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, like where have I been? I've been living under a rock this whole time. These things are so smart. But yeah, I'm super excited. I definitely want to implement something like that soon.
Yeah. The more that we can do to automate some of the monotonous tasks that we do throughout the day, I'm all for it. 100%. I really am.
Mhm.
Glebco 2K. What CRM are you guys using to keep track of agent calls? Ooh.
Before we answer that, I want to know who Glebco is. Like, can I get the name of Glebco 2K? Let me get a name to that, please. What CRM are you guys using to keep track of agent calls? You got this, bro. You're the one setting it up.
Yeah. So I guess I should tell you where we started and what we're using and then what we're trying to go to. So we started with just straight up Google Sheets, to be honest. Google Sheets. Well, we started with Podio first, and then Podio just wasn't doing it for us. So we just said, screw it. Let's just go simple as possible. So we started using Google Sheets, and we would just put in the name, the phone number, and then if we called that, we called them and make notes. That was pretty much it. Kept it simple, and that's what KJ was using for all those 500 plus broker calls that she did early on. That's what she did it on, was
Mhm.
with Google Sheets. And then we got a CRM, which is a version of Go High Level, and we got that one, but it just wasn't what we wanted. It just didn't work the way that we wanted it to do everything that we wanted it to do. So we weren't a big a fan of it, but we still have it and we use it for a lot of things. But our properties, we keep our properties elsewhere because we just didn't like how it worked and looked in that CRM. So we are actually, believe it or not, we went back to Google Sheets and KJ made some simplified like whiteboard version of Google Sheets, and we converted that to Trello. And Trello, it's been good, but it's not perfect. It's not automated. It's manual. So it's taking a lot of time away from everything else that we would like to get done throughout the day. So right now we're currently using Trello, but we're in the process of making a switch over to HubSpot, which is pretty awesome. And we have this guy that we've been working with that is very knowledgeable, and he's a pretty cool guy. And if anybody's interested, I'll definitely give you his contact. He's a really cool dude. Knows a lot about setting up systems, SOPs for your business. So we actually knew a lot more than we thought we knew, and we got that coordinated and we set it up real nice and pretty, like KJ always does. And we sent it off to him, and he's like, "Man, you guys sped this job up like 2-3 weeks. Y'all made it a lot easier on me. This normally takes a long time to get from people." So we're in the process of doing that. It's a little bit pricey, so we're kind of just waiting for one of these deals to close so we can just pay for it. But that's the goal. That's the end goal. We really like how HubSpot flows and functions, and we can keep everything that we do in there. And then once we get into that's for our CRM and our sales and relationships. Then there's the whole asset management side of it, and we do that in something else. I can't remember the name of it. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. That's being set up too. So that's what we use. Man, I can't remember what it is. I know KJ will know. She was the one searching it. So I'll give you an answer here in a second.
Yep. It's
Asana. That's what it was. Asana.
Glebco. His name is Gleb.
I knew it would come to me. All right. Let's see. Oh, lost my place. One sec. I think this is the next question I got right here. Boom. What are your tips on choosing the right partner? I want to partner with an integrator, as you mentioned, and focus on bringing in deals. It's a beautiful question. It's a really good question, actually. Our tips on choosing the right partner, and feel free to add in where you fit in, Oscar. I would say, and we've talked about it before, you want to date them first. You don't want to just jump in. Because everything might be all great and dandy in the beginning, but then as soon as you start doing one deal, or it comes down to the GP table or whatever it is, right? And feelings get hurt, or maybe someone's not working where they should be, or maybe you feel that you're overworking, or whatever it is, right? There's all kinds of different things. You really want to make sure that the relationship is mutually beneficial before you fully partner with somebody. I would highly recommend doing the dating phase first and just kind of working together with that person on different opportunities. Like what we started doing in the very beginning is we all just hopped on a Zoom every day, every single day. Oscar hosted a Zoom and we all just hopped in there, and that's where we would work, and we would just sit there and do our own work, but together, and we would bring opportunities to each other, and we would work through the problems and everything that came up together. But we were our own individual at first, right? We didn't fully commit to each other in the beginning. We wanted to make sure that we meshed well and vibed well and worked good together first. So that's what I would suggest. We do host a matchmaker Zoom. I don't know when we'll do another one, but keep a lookout for that. That would be a really good thing to go to. Or you can look, if you're in the Facebook group, you can look up the previous ones that were posted. Go to the featured tab. I think they're in there. But there's a lot of people that you could watch off of there and reach out to them. There's a lot of integrators on there, I think the second one, we had mostly integrators, and that was cool to see. Because typically your integrators are the more behind the scenes, don't really want to be out in the front of the camera. They're a lot like Ione. They stay elusive. You don't really see her too often, but she's always killing it.
It's like a myth.
Yeah, honestly.
Like everybody's like listening and like, who is this Ione character?
I know.
But she is a freaking ninja in the
Freaking
background.
ninja. Absolutely. Couldn't do it without her.
Mm-mm.
So those are my tips. That's what I suggest. Do the dating phase first and do a deal together before you partner up, before you make it official. Do a deal together and see how you guys like it. That's what I would recommend. All right. Thomas Asbell. How do you underwrite a property that has 63 units, 30 duplexes, 27 quads, and 6 single unit buildings? It's a good question. Well, we probably wouldn't do it. It's a lot of work, man. To be honest with you, it's a lot of work. So duplexes or single family duplexes, triplexes, and quadplexes, they are all comped. They're not underwritten. They're comped. So the same way you would comp a single family is the same way you would do a duplex, triplex, and quadplex. You would compare it to the similar properties that were sold in the area nearby. So you would have to do that for every single individual one of them, figure out what they're worth, and then you can kind of take it back to the multifamily way of underwriting and figure out from a numbers perspective, does the value that I came up with for this property, as well as what they're bringing in on income, does it make sense for me to do the deal together? So it'd be a little bit of a combination, but it's mostly you're just comping to compare the prices or the value of that property compared to what other properties sold. So depends how you really want to look at it. If you have a massive operation where you have property management in place, managing all of these 63 units and then some, then you could probably look at it as a multifamily and underwrite it with the numbers based on what it's producing. I don't necessarily recommend it that way. I would recommend to comp it and figure out what each property is valued at individually, and then see if you would buy that all together. So it's a long process. That's the answer. It's very tedious. You just have to kind of sit down and go through them one by one, and you're going to want to get photos of every property. You're going to want to do inspections on every single one. We just don't like portfolios, not single family or duplex portfolios. We're just not a fan. It's not in our buy box, and I think you can kind of guess why. It's a lot of work when I can just go get one building that's a 63 unit and be done with that one. Oh, I see we got Vina in the house.
What's up, Vina?
Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, we got confirmation that Williams property was near a college. So that makes sense why they had the per bedroom per month. All right. Joelle says, if we do a cash creative deal and JV, how do we fund the deal altogether? How the investors' private capital be set up? Is it mainly for the down payments? It's all the same way, man. Yeah. The only difference between a JV and a syndication is the legalities of it. A JV is typically a small group of people, and you're not taking money from anybody outside of that group of people, and everybody is involved in the deal in some way, shape, or form. They can't just be, thank you, Oscar. They can't just be silent partners. They have to, be doing something in the deal. And consult your attorneys. That's all I gotta say. Consult your attorneys. Figure out what structure is going to make the most sense for you. Just consult your attorney. That's honestly the best thing I can tell you. Just consult your attorney, guys. That's what I suggest. Vina has a great one. Go contact Nick. He's a good dude.
Yeah, Nick is awesome for sure.
Yeah, we've already had a couple conversations with him.
Mm-hmm.
Joel says the AI is doing the underwriting. I wish. That'd be cool. I think there is stuff out there, though, that does that.
Yeah.
Probably just pricey. Keyshawn says, what are the different roles you need in your real estate business? I've heard integrator, visionary, etc., but can you go into depth on each role means? I think that's all you, bro.
So it really just depends on, like, you're talking about real estate business. If you're talking about specifically multifamily, like we have, then we have a few roles that we've identified between our group, and and one of them is lead sourcing. One of them is, of course, underwriting. One of them is deal structure, and investor base, investor relations. So those are kind of very high level. There's a lot more. There's asset management as well that we've identified in our group. So about 5 roles that we've identified, maybe more, but I'm just kind of keeping it at a high level because this can be a Zoom in its own. And I
Mhm.
think we've actually done something like this in a Zoom before. But again, if I had to say, it's lead source, underwriting, deal structure, investor relations, and what did I say? Asset management. All right. There's more than that, but that's kind of the roles that we would do at a high level here. That kind of covers all the bases for an entire.
Mhm. Yeah, because I mean, just asset management alone, you could break that up into another 5 different roles.
Mhm.
So those very good summation, very high level.
Yeah.
But I also want to add, like, Keyshawn, I think you messaged me and you're a little newer into this space. I would not stress about trying to put yourself into a role and only doing that role. Honestly, in the beginning, you're going to want to do a little bit of everything. So one, you understand what's going on around you and in the different roles that you're not a part of down the road. But two, so you can figure out what you really like to do, because you may you may think, yeah, I like doing the outreaching, but what I really like doing is raising the capital and structuring the debt and doing all that, right? So you want to have your hand in each of the cookie jars for sure in the beginning, and then as you grow, you'll figure out what you're suited to and what you enjoy doing, and then either hire or have partners in the other roles. So that would be my advice. And that was the advice that we were given too, because we asked the same question to our mentor in the beginning. Like, we have a group of people and we're trying to divide roles so we can delegate the specific task and be more efficient in what we're doing. But they told us the same thing. It's like, I wouldn't worry about that just yet. Focus on getting a deal and then going through that deal step by step. And as you go through it, you'll figure out what you're missing and what you still need. And then either hire or put a partner in those positions. Okay. Here's a good one. Natalie, how/why did you guys decide to work together out of all the people in sub 2 community that you interact with? Ooh, that's a good question. It's a good question. Um, Honestly, I don't know the answer. It kind of just happened, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
Natalie, it just happened one day. I mean, we didn't like selectively. I wasn't like stalking Joseph or KJ, right? And like, I want to work with them, right? No, it just happened. I don't really know how. Again, somehow KJ reached out to me and she doesn't even know how she reached out or why she reached out to me. It just happened. And it
Yeah.
just so happened that we meshed well that we ended up doing the team.
Hmm.
So I don't know. It was by chance, but it was a good chance that it happened. But I think it kind of goes back to what Joseph had said. I don't remember who you answered the question, Joseph. Someone who was asking about a potential partner. Um,
I think
and
it
you
was Keyshawn.
Yeah, I think it was Kashan too. You had said that, you would recommend doing the dating phase, right? Like just kind of getting to know that person before you actually commit to
Hmm.
doing an actual partnership with them. I think it kind of goes back to that, Natalie, is if you're going to be looking for someone to work with, obviously take the time to get to know them to see if you guys are a fit for each other and just kind of see if you think they are, then do a deal together, but don't make it concrete or commit until you know for sure that they're an actual fit. And that's what we mean by the dating phase is you're just kind of dating each other to see whether or not you're a fit for each other, and then making the decision based off of that.
Yeah. And I want to throw this out there too. Definitely have upfront contracts, right? And I don't literally mean to have a contract in place. I mean, you can if you want to go that route, but I just mean set your expectations up front. Like, what are you looking to get out of the relationship, and what are they looking to get out of the relationship? So that way you guys can be on the same page and make sure that it's truly a mutually beneficial relationship. I definitely recommend that. And we had to learn that as well. Multiple. I would say it took us one time to learn it, but I think we still learn that one over and over. So definitely upfront contracts or just setting expectations. Very important. Who handles the crazy tenants and crazy people, especially on walkthroughs? And some get wild as Pace recently went through.
You went through one just now.
Yeah, I know. I could talk a little bit about it.
Let's just say that Joseph is probably going to be the new sheriff in town.
Yeah, apparently, man. Apparently. Yeah, so on walkthroughs, you kind of just have to go through it. The answer to your question is who handles that? Who's in charge of that? Not me, bro. That's the property manager. That's why we hire them. It's their job. But you do want to have someone on your asset management, and this is what we're talking about. You want to have someone that tenant relations, right? And that's not like an official role, but you want to have someone that is keeping that stuff in mind, because you want people to enjoy living at your property, right? You want them to not want to be leaving. You want them to stay there for a long term, or as long as possible. So you want to have someone that maybe periodically goes through the property or sends out emails to find out what's going on. Do they like them? That's something you would want to do on asset management. But to touch on what Oscar is talking about, we recently did a secondary inspection on 2 of the units at this property. And on the second unit, the guy, he was not a happy camper, man. He just came out heated. He was mad already. Answered the door. He's like, "Who the is out here? Why are you guys out here? Y'all haven't come around in 4 years. And now all of a sudden, these people walk around in groups and y'all showing up every damn day." That's just a little slice of what he said. But he went on and on and on and on about how much he hated the property management there. And I couldn't tell him anything because we were on a bank inspection. So I just didn't tell him anything. I wanted it to be like, "Hey, we're the new buyers, potential buyers. We're coming in here to see what's wrong so we can fix it up for you," right? That's what I wanted to tell him. But I can't tell him any of that because the seller asked for us not to disclose anything. Because what happens if we don't buy it, right? Now, they might be moving out because they think a buyer's coming in or whatever it is. No sticky situations. I kept my mouth shut. I just sat there and listened to this guy. And by the end of it, he was dabbing us up. He loved us. And I guarantee you, next time I see him, he would invite me back into his crib. I guarantee it. So who's supposed to do it? Your property management company. And if they're not doing it, get a different one. Joshua, do you all have a weekly goal regarding LOI submissions, calls to broker, etc.? Yeah, we definitely do. It's not as airtight as it has been, but we definitely do. We just don't have our lead broker caller right now. Yeah. Ideally, we want to be sending out an LOI every day. That would be the vision. That's the goal. But does that actually happen? No, it doesn't. Just because there's not as many properties right now that look good.
And part of that too is because we became like very selective on the types of deals that we want to submit LOIs to.
Yeah.
Just because we've like really sat down and asked ourselves, like, what is it that we're looking for? Like our buy box, right? So it's at the beginning. I remember Joseph,
yeah. At the beginning, we were sending out LOIs like crazy.
At least like 5 a day. Like it was crazy. Like we were just, submit an LOI, submit an LOI. Don't care, just do it.
Yeah.
And there was no strategy behind it, guys. There was nothing at all. It was just submit and one of those will stick.
Yeah, we were like, well, it's non-binding, so worst thing that can happen is no.
So it's become a lot more strategic now, and so it's very selective on the ones that we do, and we don't submit anything that we don't think will make sense. It's a different process, different um, stage that we're in. I guess you can say different stage that we're in. Very selective, pretty
Our
much.
goals are just more refined. They were super broad. We just wanted a property. Now it's refined to like we know exactly what kind of properties we're looking for.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing. That's a good thing because the more focused you get on one thing, the more that thing is going to reappear in your life. Sean Baxter, my boy's probably driving his truck right now.
Hey.
He says, "What percentage are you putting in for operation costs?" I can only assume you're talking about the operation of the property. So we've typically budget, 50% expenses on almost every property, unless it's a Class A. And we're budgeting about 50% expenses, and that includes not only the operation costs, the day-to-day stuff, but also some repairs and maintenance in there, your taxes, your insurance, the property management fees, and payroll, if any, and franchise tax. Yeah, I think that's it. That covers everything outside of the normal operating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Joshua put hashtag blame Nick.
Yeah, I saw that. All right, here we go. Greg, how getting the leads from multifamily gets done? Is it the same way as single family? Do you know what he's asking?
Yeah, I think so. How do
Yeah.
you get leads in multifamily?
Okay. All right. Then
And
we're on the
versus
same
like,
page.
yeah, like how do you get what? Is it the same way as single family?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. So in single family, you either do direct to seller or direct to agent, right? In multifamily, you either do direct to seller or direct to broker. It's the same thing. Same thing. There's a little bit of differences there, but for the most part, it's the same thing. I
Yep.
think, honestly, I think it's easier. If I'm being honest with you, I think it's a lot easier. But maybe just because I like it more, that's why it's easier. All right, let's see. Gleb, how do you go about brokers that stop sending you deals if they don't like your LOIs? Ooh, that's a good question. Because we definitely did that in the beginning when we were sending out all those crappy LOIs. Yeah, we definitely did that. Uh,
Good old days.
yeah. Honestly, man, I think Oscar, you'll have a better answer, but I think it just goes back to really having that conversation with them and building the relationship, not just being transactional. And here's my LOI, right? Does the seller like it? Really, really build that relationship. And that's something KJ is really good at. Is
Mm-hmm.
she's very personable, and people can connect with her very well. It's one of the reasons I like her. But that's what I would say is really just try and be a personable person. Maybe you call them and ask them about their life, what's going on. She does that and it works wonders. Sometimes she can't get them to stop talking, but
Mm-hmm.
hey, one call like that a week, that will set you up really good. It really
Mm-hmm.
will. And you don't have to do it every week, but by making that one extra step, you're already setting yourself totally different than other people. And another thing you can do is explain your LOI. Give them a call, send in your LOI, and then explain what you put in there and your underwriting. And maybe don't give them just one option, give them 2 or 3 different options.
Mm-hmm.
That'll help a lot.
Yeah,
That'll help a lot.
I agree. I agree with that. Glad because we had I got off the phone with a broker not too long ago. Oh, it was about a week or two ago. Actually, 3 weeks ago. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been
It's
a
all a
while.
blur. It's all a blur.
Yeah. And they were asking me, they were following up with me on a deal. And I told them, look, this is what we're looking at. And they kind of, I think they got offended by what I said because it was through a text message, right? So it didn't convey very well. But the following day, they wanted to jump on a call with me and kind of run through the numbers together to see why we were getting the numbers we were getting. It just didn't make sense to them. And so we got on a phone call, and I was more than happy to explain where we were coming from and why we got the numbers that we got. And after explaining to them what our business model is and how we underwrite deals, they then understood where we were coming from. So then I think that providing that clarity to them is going to help a lot, because they're going to know where you're coming from, and also like explaining it to them. Like for us, Joseph is extremely good at explaining to sellers and brokers and even lenders how we underwrite the deals. And as soon as he comes out and says that from the beginning, then they understand how we're going to be running our numbers. And everybody's different, right? The way you underwrite your properties is different from the way we might underwrite our properties. So it's whatever makes sense in your underwriting, in whatever model you're taking. That's how we typically approach it. Hey, here's what we're looking at, and this is the metrics that we stick by, and this is why we got our number. And that typically clears up a lot of the confusion, or maybe some of these brokers getting upset with us because now they understand where we're coming from.
Well said. And it's a game changer, honestly. It really is. Just by reaching out, making that phone call, game changer.
Mm-hmm.
And then one thing I heard KJ say it before is just responding back to their emails and their phone calls and their text messages. By just responding back, even if the deal is not good, that's a good way to make an impression on them. Even just giving them that feedback that, hey, I appreciate you sending the deal. Unfortunately, we're going to pass on this one because of X, Y, and Z. By just giving them that feedback, that will go a long way too. So a broker actually told her that's the reason he liked her or whatever it was. I think I'm remembering the story right, but the message is the same.
Yep.
Okay. Greg has an add-on to his question. He says, "But do you go by a list of foreclosures?" I guess you could. We haven't done that. You can go and pull a list. I know Pace teaches to go and pull a list off of Privy. It really just kind of depends what kind of multifamily you're looking for. For us, we're looking for 100 plus units. You can go and pull a list of something like that, but for us, it's more efficient to just call brokers and have brokers go out and do the grunt work and find the properties and then bring it back to us for us to review and underwrite and things like that. And we just call a lot of brokers. So that's our preferred method is using that. But it is possible that you can go and search for smaller units on like Privy. I think that's what Pace uses, Privy, or you can, if you have access to county records, I think it's called Title Pro 247 or something like that. It's a little bit pricier, but you can pull direct county record information using that. And you could pull anything you want. You could pull by the type of loan that they have, or the type of or the amount of equity, or where they closed at, even depending on what state you're in. So it just depends. However you want to do it is totally up to you, and it depends what kind of multifamily you're looking for. Like Greg, if you want to put like, what kind of multifamily are you searching for? I mean, we have time. We've got 4 minutes left, guys, and we don't have any additional questions, so we can go on this a little further. If you want to put like your buy box of unit size that you're looking for, I'll tell you the best, or my best suggestion of where you should look for it. And while he's doing that, if he's doing that, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming on here each and every week. It means a lot, guys. It really does.
Yeah, it really does. And again, if you guys aren't part of our Facebook group, go join our Facebook group. It's the $1 Million Upside. And that's where you're going to get to see all of our announcements and anything that we do, events and all that type of stuff, you can go over there to the Facebook group and get those announcements that we'll be making soon. And if you're not following us, follow us on YouTube.
Love it, Max. So Greg says he wants to get in. He doesn't have one yet, but he wants to learn as much.
Yes. Then Greg, go to the Facebook group.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff you're looking for, Greg. We've done quite a bit of content and videos on that, and just previous lives and Zooms on a lot of the stuff that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
That my suggestion, Greg, is figure out exactly what you're looking to do. Because where we messed up is we did not have a goal. We did not have a focus. We were just like, I just want to get a property. Let's just find a property. And yeah, we found a bunch of properties, but they were not good or anything that we would have really wanted to take down. Or it was like a bunch of wholesaler deals that we were never going to be able to get access to anyways in the first place. So what really changed for us, what changed the game for us, was when our mentor told us, define your goals, define what you're looking for. And once we did that, oh man, so everything else became so much clearer. We had a vision and we had a direction on how and where we were trying to take this business. And that was a game changer. And we've sat down and refined our goals like 3 or 4 times after that too. So that's what I would recommend, Greg, is trying to figure out what kind of property you're looking for. You said I missed a 4-unit in Houston, just didn't know how to do it. Yeah. So if you're looking for quadplexes, that would be the easiest way to find that, would be to pull a list and to call on that list for those. I would say anything 150 units or less, you might want to just pull a list on it, and you can have access directly to the sellers on that. So it might be easier to do something creatively on smaller size units like that, less than 150. Once you're getting 100 plus, it gets more into the bigger size where you may not be able to get directly to the seller, or maybe it's multiple sellers, like a group. Like, let's say it was us selling a property. It would be harder to have all of them agree on selling through seller finance versus if it's just one seller, like a mom and pop. So it really just depends. And I'm not saying one way is right or the other, and one way is always this way and the other is always this way. This is very generalized information that I'm saying right now.
Yep.
So for less than 100, I would go on Privy or go to the county records and search for those types of properties. I would search multifamily and then whatever other criteria you want to add. Yeah, that's another way, man. He said, I actually saw the place in person here in Houston. Yeah, you could definitely do driving for dollars too. It's the same thing.
Oh, nice.
Very similar. Multifamily and single family are very similar. I would say the biggest difference is how you analyze the deal. That's one of the biggest differences. So yeah, you could definitely go driving for dollars and then just call them. It may be a little bit more of a detective work to get to the seller, because sometimes they're a little bit savvier and they have LLCs and registered agents. So that may be a little bit more difficult. But hey, if you're up for a challenge, you could definitely do it. It's not impossible.
Definitely.
I hope that helps, Greg. I hope that helps. If you have any other questions, just reach out to us through Instagram or Facebook, whatever. Instagram is probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. And then I don't have anything else. Oscar, do you have any announcements?
Yeah, I think I have one only. So this Friday, guys, we have a live that we do on Friday mornings at 10 a.m. Central. And that's when we go over with the good, the bad, the ugly, basically a recap of our week. And we let you guys know everything that's going on. And then after that, we have a Zoom. It's a private Zoom that you can sign up for free, and the link's at the bottom of your screen, zoom.jbmlegacy.com, and sign up for those because those are absolutely free for you guys to hop on. And we go over different topics in multifamily. We've actually done a bunch of stuff in the past. I'll have a lot of recordings of things that we've done, and it's there to serve you guys because we want to be able to get you guys to your first deal. If it's not us specifically partnering up with you, at least giving you the tools to do so, so you can go and do it with your either by yourself or with someone. Hopefully, you're not doing it by yourself, but with someone, and partnering up, and also the community that we put together, whether it's in the Facebook group or in that Zoom specifically, or in this chat. You're meeting and connecting and networking with people so you can do deals together. So if you're not part of that Zoom, sign up and register. It is free. Zoom.jbmlegacy.com, and then you can register. We'll send out an email beforehand, and typically a text to let you guys know that we're going to be going live, or the day before to send you as a reminder. So sign up, register, don't miss out. We always go over some great stuff, especially for you guys who may be newer to this space.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Awesome, guys. Well, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. If y'all need anything else, you know how to reach us. And I think that's a wrap. Bye, guys.